What's up, everybody? And we are back.
We're back.
Morsy and Nique, part 2.
What's good, peeps? What's shaking, bacon? What's shaking, comment section? Yo, I meant to check the comment section before we started this, and I just didn't.
Oh, for like the post that we made about the first time when we recorded this?
Yeah, like when we dropped the video, like were people like yapping it up? Are they saying anything?
Yeah.
I mean, you got the notifications.
So a lot of the comments
Uh-huh.
were regarding our hip hop conversation that we had, that hip
Yeah.
hop was dead in 2024.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a hot take. I mean, it's a hot take, but you know what it was? Like, we had talked about that without giving the context. And the context of that statement was we're talking about what we played to get our dance floors moving. Like every DJ's dance floor is different across the world.
Exactly.
So it's like from our combined experience, I think that was our takeaway. But it was totally different in the Grammys. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We could talk a little bit about that. I agree. So when we were talking, it was about shit that works on the dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the comments were like, yo, hip hop was not dead. There was mad bangers out there.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them were talking about more of the street tracks or like
Right.
rap in general. Rap was dope, yeah.
Yeah,
But there
absolutely.
weren't enough actual bangers in the club where I could play at a bar, lounge,
Mm-hmm.
Scenario like that where, back then somebody would be like, hey, can you play Biggie? Can you play Fat Joe Lean Back or
Yeah.
50 Cent in the club?
Hell
Like
yeah.
people still requesting that. Why are they
Exactly. Yeah.
requesting that when like we're in 2025? That's like 20 years ago.
Yo, that's the thing. That was the golden era. The golden era, and like when 50 Cent was at his like doggest of dog, like just straight up killing everything he put his hands on. That was the era.
Yep.
But like, I mean, you know what it is? Like we saw that with reggaeton. Like reggaeton, maybe 10 years ago. Like you would play the songs from 10 years before that because that's like the golden era. But I
Yeah.
think with reggaeton, there's another like golden era that's coming with this whole Bad Bunny like movement
Yeah.
that he captured so many people that it's like people from all over the world now are learning to dance salsa.
Uh-huh. I mean, yo, that new Bad Bunny album, fire.
Oh, so good. So
Yeah.
good. You
Because
know what? Oh, sorry again.
no, what you were talking about, the whole salsa thing, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, like that whole album incorporated salsa, reggaeton, dembo. It had all the elements in there.
Exactly. I found it as like a love letter back to his country, which I found beautiful. And just like all the elements that he put in there. And now he's trying to like use it to like get people's consciousness to like, bring the attention to what's really going on in Puerto Rico. And like what people are really like, trying to do is like take ownership of their country when people are just like renting Airbnbs and like taking little chunks of their culture away just so they can be close to a beach.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole other subject, and yes, it happens a lot with
Yeah.
every island that I've been on. When I used to DJ on the cruises,
Let's go.
and see that taking of land just to use the beach, and it was never nice to see, but it was also amazing to experience. So
Bro,
there's
I've always wanted to do one of those cruise ships. You got to tell me, like, what was that experience like? What, like, were there any like crazy instances of just like people behaving badly?
So what I love about the cruise ship DJ experience, you cannot get away with a lot of things. Security did not care who you were, what status you were. You could have been white, black, Latino, Asian. If you started some shit, like got too drunk or just like started yelling or requesting it was a no. You would get kicked out, and sometimes you would even be taken off the ship at the next stop. And it is what it is, because those laws are different out on sea, and they just wouldn't. There was like a zero tolerance for nonsense. So
Bro.
I had some people that would request and be like really nasty about it. I would just tell security, and bada boom, they would get escorted back into their room.
Hell yeah. Top flight security of the world. The world, Craig, the world.
I mean, think about it. You got open bar, people drinking from 9 a.m. to
That's, yeah.
1 a.m.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, especially in a confined situation and you can't get away from them. Like,
Exactly.
best you could do is maybe go to the opposite side of the boat. But, like, I don't know. It's like, I don't understand how people could wild out knowing that the possibility of seeing that person again, like the next day or like the later that week,
Yeah.
and then just act like nothing happened. Like,
Yeah.
so wild.
Yeah. And I mean, there's also been guests that were like, they were the ones that saved the party, saved the cruise.
Okay.
Where
Nice.
I would DJ and I'd be like, where's that one person that was like getting the dance floor popping?
Mm-hmm.
And they would come in and be like, there you are. And then we'd have that connection. I'd be like, what do you want to hear? That's when it's like, I respect you. You respected me as a DJ on the dance floor. What do you want to hear? Like, you made the dance floor happen. Let's get it happening again.
Hell yeah.
You know?
So they know what's up. I love people like that. People that know what's up. Yo, if you're watching this and you know what's up, shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what's good. You know how to walk. You know how to operate in the confines of a party. I love people like that. I love people that just like walk in and they give you the head nod to the DJ. They just dance the whole night in the middle of the dance floor. They come up. You think they're going to make a request, but they say, yo, you're killing it. Yo, shout out to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love that.
Hell yeah, man. So we're coming towards the end of Q1 2025 in the business world.
Mm-hmm.
This is the DJ world, so we just do whatever. But like in the confines of the corporate America that I'm so used to, we're ending the first quarter of the year, which is, to us mostly like, slow month. Like I don't get many private events. All the DJs that do have venues, they're in their venues. They're not booking any replacements. They're just there. So for us, the landscape kind of dries up. So how has your Q1 been? Slow?
Yeah, it was pretty slow. I'm finally getting more, like you said, like only the residencies were booking, and I wasn't doing any corporate, didn't have any weddings. Now the weddings are starting to pop up. I got a wedding in about 2 weeks, back-to-back weddings. And so, yeah, April's going to be really a busy month. So what is this? That would be the second quarter?
Yeah, it'd be Q2, yeah.
Yeah. Then I got a couple of corporate gigs that are reaching out. And as we both experienced last week, I had the honor of DJing Pix 11.
Let's go. Hell yeah, man. That was awesome.
Thank you for coming by the way. That
yeah,
was
absolutely. I really I loved waiting outside for you to pull up. And I'm looking down the street. I'm like, I wonder if his train is running late or some shit. And then this big black Escalade pulls up and Morsy hops out the Escalade and grabs his stuff out the trunk like, what's good? I'm like, that's my boy. Let's go.
Yeah, I like that. That was definitely a little bit of a VIP treatment.
Yeah.
Walking in to the spot and doing my thing.
Yeah, they do it right there, man. They were a good crew. It was nice to meet everyone part of that. And they take care of you, man. It was just like, they brought you in. They had, food to welcome you with. Everybody was super friendly. And they got you all set up. Yep. And how did you feel after you were in there in the moment with the cameras going? And
so any big event like that, or just, where the spotlight's on you, there's definitely a nervousness starting off, because you're just like, all right, did I bring all my wires? Did I bring my charger? In my USB sticks, I had my USB sticks in my pocket.
No, dope, yeah.
Before I even left, I was like, all right, check.
Yeah.
And then in the moment, there's just you just got to do it. You just got to show up and do the job and not think about being worried. And so it's so funny, like when they were interviewing me, I did not expect that it was going to be the start. I didn't know the interview was going to start. I thought it was going to happen at the end. So as soon as they were like, the guy just came up to me real quick and he's like, all right, so they're about to interview. They're going to ask a few questions, this and that. And I was just like, whoa. So my mind almost went a little blank. And everything that I practiced didn't really go according to plan. Luckily, you know, I made it happen. And the ending interview, I got to say those other mentions and shout outs that I wanted to. But in the moment, man, things just happen. And you're just like, all right, well, let's just keep it going.
Bro, you did well. You did well. You fooled me. I thought, like, when you said all that, I was like, man, he had that all prepared and ready to go. Like, if it was me, I would practice it. I would have called you like, yo, let me just run this by your face. Just so like, I have this horrible thing, and I've had it my whole life, where it's like whenever the red record light is on, I have the worst anxiety. Really? And yeah, it's like, because before I DJ'd, I used to write raps, and you know, I used to go, you know, put my bars on with my homie. Put my bars on. That's not how rappers talk. Well, I'm not a rapper, so I could say that. But like, I would always like get in the booth, and then like I'd have to run through my lines like 10, 15, 20, 25 times. Like a verse would take me like 2 hours to record, because it was just like I would just like freak out whenever the red light was on. So shout out to you for holding it together.
Oh, thanks. I mean, yeah, we've been in the business for a while. We know how it is. I've done some really big events, like festivals. And so I think the adrenaline is there, and it just shows up, and the adrenaline takes over the mental thinking. I think the overthinking when you get nervous is like, it can overpower the brain, and then you could just freeze.
Oh, that's right.
But if you're just in that adrenaline, you're just like, let's go. I think somebody said, you know, I think James Brown or whatever show person back in the day was like, the show must go on.
Yeah.
That mentality has stuck with me to this day. It's just, you screw up, whatever, you fall down the stairs like Beyonce, you get back up, and the show must go on.
Yeah, as if it's just part of the show.
Exactly.
Because nobody's the wiser. They're there to see you. So it's like, that's part of what you're getting. You know?
And then Vicky, my wife, brought up the best. She like sometimes just like enlightens me. She goes, we actually watched somebody screw up on TV live, I think for like Super Bowl, something like that.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, boom, commercial. And the rest of the world saw the screw up, and then they moved on and they forgot about it. It's not in their minds. I just reminded them right now.
Yeah.
But and that's how the world works. We're not that special. We're just like regular ass people, and the world will go on, and the attention is not going to be fully on you for the rest of your life. So,
and that's where we differ. Because I ruminate and I live in my head and I play it over and over and lose sleep for weeks. And I'm like, how could I do it better the next time? And, you know, I mean, it is what it is. Like, if you fuck up, again, like, you have, that's the beauty of what we do, and the beauty of having a packed calendar. All right, we fucked up this gig, we'll make it up on the next one.
Absolutely.
You know? Because it's just like more and more and more, and like the more you let it like ruminate and like shut you down. I mean,
well,
it's not good to live like that.
So you said it would shut you down a whole week. It shut me down for 2 days, a day and a half.
All right.
So the following day, I did not sleep, and it like you just said, the same exact thing. It looped. The scenario looped. How could it have been better? How could I have been better? How could I have been better? And it's like, after day 2, it is what it is. I'm totally happy with the results, especially when you have friends and family say, oh yeah, you did fine. You did great. Right. And they don't even notice the things that you may have noticed. And that's just
Yeah,
part of being an expert, you know, or
a perfectionist,
a
wanting
perfectionist.
wanting things to be a certain way, but as an artist, I say that word loosely because as DJs, you're actually like you're kind of both. You're an artist slash a person in the craft. You know what I mean? Because anything that you could like learn and then do, you know, it's kind of more like a craft. Like we're like there's electricians out there that could be out here like you know putting out flyers like yo I'm gonna do this gig. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go fix the lights over here. Come check me out. I'm gonna record it and put it live. You know what I mean? You could be that guy, but it just so happens that this is one of the only industries. I mean, of course, like you know, artists that sing and rap have like that same persona. So I guess that's kind of like um, a good segue into talking about like what do you think people expect from DJs and like am I not a DJ if I show up without like you know a hat and sunglasses on and shit like you know what I mean? Are people expecting me to pull up like yo like what's up? What's good? I'm the man in here. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, let's talk about that scenario that just happened at Pix
Yeah.
11. Who was the
Uh-huh.
comedian that after I did my thing and we saw the comedian
From
in
in
Living
living
Color.
color fame,
Yes.
Tommy Davidson.
Tommy Davidson.
Hmm.
You pulled up, you had your shades on,
Uh-huh.
and you were just looking like the superstar.
What's up?
And he totally skipped me
Uh-huh.
and he just went right to you with his hand. I was
Uh-huh.
like, yo, you know, I was the DJ, right? Yo, your man was full of shit. He goes, yeah, I saw the performance. Apparently you
You
did
didn't see
not,
shit.
sir.
I love
You
that.
motherfucking little liar. I love it.
Yo.
But I mean,
Mm.
uh, yeah,
But he
I
knows how to
respect
play
that.
the game. He knows how to play the
He
game. It's
played
like,
it
yo, if this guy
so
looks like the superstar, that's who he is. You
exactly.
know what I mean? All he could have guessed that I was maybe your manager or something there, like, you know, which was kind of like the persona I was going for, but it didn't work.
Yeah, that's
But nah, Tommy Davidson was mad chill and like
very funny. God, I love him.
hilarious,
Yeah,
hilarious. And I love the fact that like he was in that mood, like to just like churn jokes, like he naturally does. He doesn't even have to try. That's an artist.
that's an
That's a
artist.
fucking artist, bro.
Yes.
Like a dude that like does he walks and breathes comedy.
All
Like I
day.
was just like, yo, you speak Spanish, right? And he's like, poquito, and he was just like, he was like,
And then he's just like, "Pata, pata, pata, pata,
yeah,
pata." He was just going in.
dying laughing.
Yeah.
Like that was such a gift to like run into that guy, and
What
it
did
was
we
just like
had like 5 minutes with him?
barely,
Barely 5 minutes
barely.
with him. And that was like one of the best experiences I've ever had with another comedian.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He was hilarious, man. He was dope.
Yeah. Shout out to him.
Yeah. So like going back to the discussion is like I don't know, like maybe I'm try to see the vision in other people's heads when they hear DJ. And like um maybe for the majority of my career I've always thought that in people's minds it was kind of just like, oh, just this guy that plays music and gets, you know, probably, you know, a bunch of girls on him and all that and this, that, and the third. But bro, I wish it was like that. I wish. I
Well,
wish. I mean, a
er,
little harder now as a married man, but you
yes.
know, but even
Early in the
still.
career.
Uh-huh.
So early in my career, it was like that.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled up and, you know, the attention was there
Mm-hmm.
and I absorbed it. But I was always like a humble, different person. And I knew that like I could separate the fakeness
Mm-hmm.
from like reality.
Right.
I like to be around real people. I always wanted to be real. And so like that kind of hurt me a bit. I
Okay.
feel like
Yeah.
I could have been maybe even another level, but I just don't want to be fake.
Me
And I don't
neither,
want to have that
man.
mentality. And so like, you know, that's why I got married.
Right.
That's, you know, I wanted a serious partner to help me move this career in more of a business mindset.
Right.
And so now I think my perspective of like what a DJ should be,
Mm-hmm.
somebody that's confident,
Mm-hmm.
somebody that can pull up and know I got it covered. I'm just going to plug in. I have a backup. I got another USB. I got my laptop out just in case.
Yeah.
Like there's, you got an RCA with a Spotify ready on your phone. Like that professionalism is what I think should be the new standard, and not like how you look and if you got girls around you.
Right.
But that ain't reality.
Right.
Is it?
Yeah. Nah, man. I mean, for me, I was the same. I was just like, I was super concerned about playing a good set always. And just like being in tune with the music. If people came up to me and made requests, I mean, even back then, I was like, oh, I don't know what that is. Let me like write it down, and then I'll see if I could incorporate it into what I do. You know what I mean? I was always about the technicality of the scene, not the scene itself. You know, and there's other, like, that's the beauty of DJs. Everybody's different. Every DJ has their own different strengths, their different ways of moving in this world. And it's just like, when you're so engrossed with the technicality of everything, the fakeness kind of exposes itself a little more.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if maybe the fakes see you and see you like, oh, this guy isn't in the matrix. He's like outside of it. And like, I don't know, there's this thing with mediocrity where, and I'm noticing it more, where people surround themselves with people that create this false image around them. You know, it's easier to do when you're younger because it's like, yeah, that was good, right? Yeah, it was great. That was good, right? Yeah, it was awesome. And the one person that walks up and is like, it could use some work. Fuck that guy.
Right?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but now the problem is with criticizing any other DJ now, it's automatically hate. Like, it's not like, there's no more creative, like, I mean, coming from like a person that like, you're I don't know what I'm saying. Either way, I'm just saying.
No, I love it. So I'm at a level now, a point in my life where I want to be around the people that will criticize me or give me that feedback.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I don't need somebody to be like, yeah, you did great. I want somebody to be like, could have been better here. Here was a little weakness. Because as a person now, I'm confident with myself and my craft, and I want to improve the best I can. And if I could see a weakness, I want to be surrounded around people that will point that out and be like, here you go. Here's some knowledge. I mean, for a great example, we were playing at Radgas last time when we played together. And you were like, bro, you play mad edits. Like, for this spot, they actually enjoy more of the originals. So like, don't be afraid to throw in an original here and there. And that thought came to my mind still now to this day, where I'm like, I started playing more of the originals again. And it's fun.
Right. Yeah.
The live aspect of it has a certain element and energy that you can't replicate with a quantized intro, outro.
Yeah. Yeah. After I said that to you, I felt bad. I was like, fuck, man, maybe like I came off like a dick.
Nah, this is why you're my friend.
Right. But I felt comfortable enough to say that to you. You know what I mean? As a friend that I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
But that's another thing is like with DJing, it's like you can do it any way. There's like no right or wrong nowadays. And like if any young DJs were to ask me like what's the best advice I could give them, I would say fuck advice. That's the best advice I could give you. Like, bro, just do whatever. Like, well, bro,
but
like,
then learn from the mistakes.
Right,
so
learn from the
whatever
mistakes
and trial and error. So like, for example, your spot at Radgas, you know that spot inside out. You've been there so long, so you know what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah,
through trial and error. So you've tried a bunch of tracks out, and you go, "Oh, that works. That works. These originals work." And so now you understand the room, and now people go to your venue knowing that's what they're going to expect.
Yeah.
and that's how that's how DJs should be, I think, for like a professional and for the future with that
Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah, always know like what the room calls for.
Yep.
What you need. But the only reason I say like fuck advice is more like at the end of the day what's going to make you good is you and
Yep.
your the type of person you are, the your dedication to work, your work ethic, you know, how moral you are as a person. Like, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of takers in this world, bro. There's like so many takers. Every corner that you cross, somebody wants to take your shit. Somebody wants to be in your seat. Somebody wants to do what you're doing. Even like people that you would think are like above you, like doing bigger things than you are. Oh man, it would be great to just like do that, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, from a genuine place, you know, doing anything, you know, is like I love to see people that are just like, man, well, you know, I just do this for fun, and you know, whatever, we just show up and do it. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm trying to make a business out of this. Trying to figure out how I could get to Japan with this, or I could trying to figure out, you know, whatever. But I don't know. I just like purity. I'm just like solid intent without shit behind going on. That's it.
Yeah. No, I like that. I feel like my early DJ career, I was kind of a taker.
Mhm. Yeah, as you should. Like, I mean, you
C-
should be.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're not a taker in your beginning stages, you won't get those opportunities. If you
Mm.
get the opportunity, take it, and then like look for more opportunities, take those, but always with the mentality that one day you will give back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I
Mhm.
have done that. And that's like, I have relationships with people. I think we talked about this last time, but I have relationships with people, with other DJs that go back 10, 15, even 20 years,
Mhm.
where it's like they will still look out for me and I'll look out for them. And
Mhm.
if an opportunity pops up where it fits their vibe and that energy, here you go. Here's that
Yeah.
opportunity, like, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, walking back a little, it's not such a bad thing. And again, I'm one of those people that like look up to people that are comfortable with asking for things. Which is like some sort of a superpower here, because it's like I've only asked for a few things, and you know, thankfully, like some of them have pulled up, like, you know, opportunities that I was like, oh, I think I'd be good for that. Hey, do you have anybody for that? Can I fit into what you're doing there? Oh yeah, there's room. Boom, they put me in, and it becomes like a good look or a good situation. Um, you know, there's a lot in this industry to look out for or to do, but I don't know that this is the space to like put on a mentoring seminar
well,
at the
I
moment.
mean, the one thing we could do, the
Yeah.
advice that we could give is that 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 rule of,
Mhm.
if an opportunity happens at an establishment, let's say another DJ can't make it,
Mhm.
and you DJ it and you kill it, and the manager comes up to you and goes, "Hey, we'd like to book you more, or instead of this other person."
That's happened to me.
Rule 101 is, you don't do it. You go, "Nah, that's my boy's gig.
Mhm.
I'll definitely be down to cover anytime you can't, or can I get a different night?"
Mhm.
Something like that. Can I get a different night?
Mhm.
If it's another whack DJ that does the Friday,
Mhm.
then maybe you could do the Friday, but don't
Mhm.
steal your boy's Saturday
Nah,
gig.
don't do that.
Yeah.
That's somebody's bread and
So
butter.
that's
Well,
something we can mentor for the
oh yeah, of course. Please
the
don't
new
do that.
generation.
One thing you can do, like that I do that would be respectful, is, you know, the manager comes up to you, says you're dope, like, yo, thank you very much. I would love to play here more. Well, we could talk about that another day. And then go straight to my boy and say, yo, they were just like saying I was good and they want to book me more. Like, see, like, test the
Yep.
temperature with your friend. I
Yep.
mean, again, like maybe not in the moment they're going to be like, oh yeah, sure, I have no problem with that, which is like the cordial thing to say. But like also it's just like, just so you know, the
Exactly.
waters ain't as calm as you think they are there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's always good to keep your head on a swivel, to have multiple pots on the fucking range, as they say.
Yep. Yeah.
But it's all good. I'm sorry I'm cursing so much, but I mean, it's not like we monetize this. So,
Nah. I think
yet.
yes. Yeah. Nah. This is for adult DJs, or
Mm-hmm.
even if it's man, teens these days.
Mm.
You gotta hear what they're cursing of their fucking wazoo up in the
Oh,
on the bus to
oh,
go to
dude.
school.
I was one of those kids. I
Same.
used to take the 5 train. I used to take the 5 train to 57th Street to go to Art and Design High School, where like all the best graffiti artists in the city that were high school kids went. And yo, yeah.
You went to Manhattan School?
I went to high
You
school in Manhattan, dog.
fancy.
Nah, dog. It was an art high school. You had to pass a test to get in there.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. It was like a whole bunch of like artists that went there. Um, but originally I went to an all boys private school in
You
in uh
fancy.
in Larchmont. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean I wasn't, no, don't think this is all blue collar. we wasn't rich, bruh. We we lived 5 people in a 2-bedroom apartment, dog.
Yeah. I remember you telling me stories, and your brother was telling us Bronx stories back in the day.
Yo, the Bronx was different, mad different.
Could imagine. I was
Yeah.
afraid of the Bronx.
Mm.
How funny that now, years later, I have an apartment here, and
What's hilarious, you're Brooklyn. I mean, you grew up in Brooklyn, and
yeah,
I had the same mentality about Brooklyn when in the 90s when I
really,
was a kid. Yeah.
man, that movie Warriors did its number, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it was more the music though, because I was listening to Biggie and Jay-Z talking about all this craziness like it was going on in Brooklyn. And I remember my first time taking the train from the Bronx to Brooklyn was to do just to do like some scratches on a record that they were recording in some studio out there. And I was like, yo, I heard about Brooklyn, so I came correct. I had the longest knife I could fold in my jacket. And I was like, I wish a motherfucker would.
Wow.
But I mean, that's New York City shit. Like, you're in the city, you don't know what to expect on the other side of the tracks. You come prepared. And sure enough, it was Bed-Stuy, and it was like super chill. There was like moms walking down the street, pushing strollers, brownstones everywhere.
Yeah. Now, the part of Brooklyn that I grew up at definitely wasn't the safest, but it also like it was fine.
Mm.
There was the Latin Kings and the Decepticons.
Oh shit, yeah.
Those are the 2 gangs that were like in my neighborhood,
Mm.
and I walked around. I didn't give a shit. They would have. I remember they had Latin King meetings. I'd
Mm.
walk right because they were like blocking the playground. I'd walk right through it,
Okay, they knew.
and they'd be like, "What up, shorty?" They'd like give me a dap, and then I would just go play on. Because
Mm.
in my mentality, I'm not gonna show fear.
Mhm.
I guess being raised that way.
Right,
If you don't have fear, then they won't. Nobody mess with you,
right.
and
That's your
that's been my
element.
mentality to this day.
Sam.
It's that
Hell yeah.
energy. It's like a what do they say? Wolf and sheep,
Right.
or a dog can spot
Oh yeah.
a scared human.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up in a predominantly Italian neighborhood in the North Bronx, and grew up to find out that there was mad mafia families that lived in the neighborhood. And that's precisely why, like, you wouldn't see Bloods or Crips or Latin Kings in the area, because they knew that there was organized crime in that neighborhood, and they knew to
Yeah.
not mess around.
It's it's so funny. So
Yeah.
when my grandmother passed and we moved to her neighborhood, um, which was also formerly predominantly Italian,
Mm-hmm.
Cobble Hill,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, there were no gangs
Mm-hmm.
because the Italians were like, "Nah, don't fuck with this territory. Like this is us,
It was
and
no.
you respect it."
Yeah.
to the point where like I understand why I grew up eating more Italian food than Mexican food.
Yep.
Kind of had to blend in with the neighborhood, and
Yep.
you just
My
do your
dad used
thing.
to my dad used to wear suits every day. My mom had like one of those updos, like the she had an updo. She used to cook Italian food just as much as Dominican food.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was like that back then. You had to move correctly to survive.
Yeah. But in segueing into the DJing,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I introduced a whole new group of people in my life from different neighborhoods of Brooklyn in the DJ world.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually then found other DJs in Queens
Mm-hmm.
and then in the Bronx. And then,
Yeah.
this is how through music, I like how we can adapt to the neighborhood, and the neighborhood doesn't matter at that point. It's more
Yeah.
about the art.
Oh yeah. The DJ community, I found it very early on in my life of a DJ. And it was like in high school, there was I went to high school in Manhattan, and all the record labels were in New York City and Manhattan. And I found out that every Friday they gave out records to DJs. So I used to just pull up and be like, yo, I'm DJ such and such. I play here, here, and here. Lies. I got this mixtape series I'm working on. Never came out. But that's how I built most of my records, was just like getting them straight from the labels.
That's
And
funny.
then also meeting other DJs in New York and like saying, yo, like what record labels are you like checking out? Oh, what do you do? And it was like cool to see, like, on foot walking around Manhattan, like meeting all these DJs, crossing, like me seeing them coming from where you're going and like talking to them for like 5 minutes, like, oh, what's good? How was your week? Da, da, da.
Uh-huh.
But like, this is me as like a teenager, out in these streets doing that.
Did we ever talk about that? I used to work at Def Jam, and I used to be the person giving out the records.
We didn't talk about that, and that's probably where we crossed paths.
Yeah.
Because if it was like 2003, 2002, 2001.
Yeah. That was it, literally exactly around the time that I was working at Def Jam on the street team, giving out records and giving out CDs
Mm-hmm.
to the DJs. And sometimes we'd have to mail them to like the superstar DJs
Yeah.
to play on their radio shows or at the club.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be mailing vinyl at like, I remember one time Def Jam just had a new record out, and the UPS store, the only one that would ship to like before midnight, they were like, yo, you got till 11:30 p.m. to ship this record out to this popular DJ.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I remember grabbing the record, packing it in the box, grabbing a couple CDs, and then just running to that UPS right in Manhattan.
Uh-huh.
And I was just good times. And
Those are
I would
good
get
times,
so many
man.
records. I would get so many.
Hell yeah, dude! Especially if like you're at Def Jam and like I remember the exact smell of a record that just came off the press, and like how it would almost like hurt your fingers to open and like take it out, and it would have a little resistance to pull it out, and then there was like little pieces of paper falling off of it, and you pull it out, this pristine record just printed. I remember that feeling, man.
That first fingerprint you put on it.
Yep, it was yours, bro. It's a promo record straight from the labels, man.
Yeah.
I remember that, man. I rode on the elevator with Capone from CNN. I met Jay-Z in that building. I shook his hand in the hallways of that office.
Nice.
I had a lot of good memories. The Locks was like outside one time. They were just hanging out in the parking lot across the street from where the building was. They had one of those Raptors. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. They had one of those Raptors that had like the 3 wheels on it that would go super fast.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Nice.
Hell yeah.
What was cool is that all the Def Jam people we had a little bit of beef with Bad Boy.
Oh wow, yeah.
And that beef is real.
Really?
Because we were competing against for street promo.
Right.
So if we had a poll and we had to like post up Rihanna posters. I remember we were promoting Rihanna, and we were putting up posters. Sometimes if we didn't pull up early, Bad Boy would just stack up, and then there would be beef. Like, yo, all right, I'll do half, you do half. Like,
Right.
well, you know, we kind of had to compromise.
What
to
was
promote.
what was Bad Boy pushing at the time? I think it was Shine, right? Shine.
I don't even know.
Before they put him in jail.
Yeah, right? Probably.
Or one of P. Diddy's remix albums I picked up around that time.
Yeah. Yeah, what did Kanye say? I'm like Bad Boy Street Team. I had to work the locks or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because the locks was on them originally. They were on Bad Boy originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I just recently heard a video of Jadakiss like talking about like how working with Puff was like horrible. And like I think they asked to be released at a certain point. And I think they went to Interscope.
Oh, okay.
Could be wrong on that. Chat.
Yeah. But what, right?
Don't roast us, but
in the comments, if you want to correct us, by all means, this was like 15 years ago. So,
oh yeah. Yeah.
Or even more now.
We're the old guard now, dog. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're getting up there.
Yeah.
I don't know who had more grays, D Nice or me. Definitely me. And I hope he had a great weekend because he had a lot of dope shows lined up at the Apollo when we met him at WPIX.
Isn't that crazy? So
wild.
For everybody watching, we didn't expect to pull up to Pix 11, and I was setting up my controller, putting in my USBs, and then all of a sudden we hear D Nice is gonna do a little interview segment. And I was just like, yeah, you looked at each other, we're like, really?
Yo,
out of all the times, out of all the days, it was so cool.
I had to catch myself because when he walked in, I was like, yo, my name is D Nice. Oh man, that was dope. And he was such a cool dude too. Like, yeah, he chopped it up with us and gave us the time of day.
Another BX.
He was dope. BX representative.
Yep.
That made, if you don't know who D Nice is, he was a hip hop DJ from way back in the day, but he really gained his prominence more recently after the pandemic, which he used to do live streams called Club Pandemic or something like that.
Club Quarantine.
Club Quarantine. That's what it was. Yeah, and that kind of like blew up for him, and he was able to amass a huge following from that, and like celebrities even were like in the comments of his Instagram lives, which is wild.
Yeah. Did I say it loud enough to him? I was like, yo, what's up with that guest list?
You know, he probably heard it and was just like, yeah, nah, son.
Yeah. You got too many people on that list already.
Yo, shout out to D Nice, but like also like, why did you have to steal our limelight like that, bro? Here we were, 2 DJs, the only DJs in the room. And I was like, yo, my boy's getting his shine. I'm over here like, let me just, play the back seat. I'm not touching the turntables today. I'm here for you. Yeah, and D Nice comes in. I'm like, yo, you just eclipsed my boy. Like, what the fuck? Come on, D Nice.
Yeah.
You could be on CNN. What you got to do? You got to take PIX away from us.
Hey, man, we got to share the wealth, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, man. Anything else cooking in your world? Or what anything you got looking forward to this following quarter?
So I will start to promote that whole WPIX little interview, just to be like, hey y'all, I was on this, and I'm gonna maybe shoot it to corporate clients.
Nice.
And to be like, hey, I'm maybe at a different status now, so maybe y'all will be interested in booking me. So I think I'm gonna do that next. So yeah, we'll see where it takes it, because my goal is to do more corporate gigs, and if I'm lucky, once in a while I'll do maybe a festival or two. It's been a while since I've been at a festival. I would love to do corporate gig, and then one big ass festival to like have fun. and then maybe once a month, a night where I stay out late. But I don't want to do it every weekend.
Right, yeah.
You know? At this age, I think it would be dope to have like a really good, well-paid residency once a month that is like, you bring your boys, you party, you catch up. Yeah. Kind of like what you have at Radgast. I think I want to get something like that. That's like fun.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. That's dope. That's in the cards for you. I believe it, and I'm manifesting it for you.
Yeah.
That's gonna come.
How about you?
Right now I'm preparing for my first gig in my country in Dominican Republic. And I got booked by a private client to do a wedding in Punta Cana. Nice. So I'm going to be flying down there in a couple weeks. So I'm basically kind of like using my sets as kind of a preparation, like a live trial to get down there and just destroy it, to hopefully like leave a lasting enough impression on the people there in that venue to be like, oh, here's this DJ from New York that just comes down here and crushes it. You know, so
Yo, I felt so bad for your DJ at your wedding. Because think about how many of us were judging.
Right. Yeah.
Every track.
I didn't want him to know that, and when I talked to him, like I was like, yeah, I'm a DJ. I'm like, but here's the thing, like when I met him, I was like, yo, my family played instruments on a lot of the like famous merengue records of the 80s.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So it's like I got people in that room that are like musicians that are on recorded music. And then let alone a bunch of other DJs there. Like, but I didn't tell them that there was a room full of DJs. Hey, don't fuck up.
Yeah.
But also I don't think he would have cared anyway. He did a great job, in my opinion.
Good. We all danced.
Yeah.
And that's all. DR knows how to party.
Oh yeah. You learned that firsthand, bro.
Yeah.
But, other than that, would be cool to like get more of these destination gigs, which would be cool. Same as you, would love to get more corporate situations. The privates are right now like great. Like this first quarter for me was like I was just, taking in, talking to clients, locking them in, getting them. So the year is kind of like saturated for me as far as privates are concerned, thank God. Nice. But I wouldn't mind flexing my muscles locally too, like because that's the thing, like you're only as good as your last gig. Like you gotta keep flexing and flexing and flexing. It's like going to the gym. Like that's what I like about Radagast, and I'm in there regularly. I'm able to play to a crowd of people that don't have much of a discerning for music. They like to dance, and that's all they care about. So it's like they want to hear shit they know, but it's also good to like get them in your pocket. When you get them in your pocket, and like you could play anything, and they're just like they already like vibe with you and they trust you.
Yep, love that feeling.
So that's my goal every gig is just to like, all right, here's something for you. Now here's like a few things for me. And then we can make it, good. So I'm just trying to be a better DJ at every gig I got, and then just, hoping it takes me to somewhere dope.
Nice, love it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think that was I think we did some good conversations.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
was
so.
A good one.
Hell yeah. Yeah. If you're watching this, share this with a buddy, or don't. This is gonna live in the web world,
the Matrix,
the Matrix for forever. They're gonna come back to it and like, yo, this guy Nique says mad F words.
And Morsy drinks mad water.
He drinks mad water, and Nique drinks too much coffee out of tin cups.
Oh, I'm about to have maybe another cup of coffee because it's about that time.
Bro, do you got tin cups at home, yo?
Hell yeah.
Yo, tin cups are the best, especially for hot beverages. Even though, like, you'll burn your hand in one, but that's what the mugs is for, bro. You don't know that's what the handle is for?
Stupid.
A little bit. Word. All right, man. So it's good catching up.
Hey, listeners out there, thank you for tuning in. Once again, Morsy and Nique and Morsy, we are here, and we will see you hopefully sooner than later. And
I got to put the shades on because my future is looking bright.
until next time, y'all. Peace.
Peace.